Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode of News in 2 Minutes, bringing you the news that you need to know every day. Let's begin. The U.S. State Department has ordered the evacuation of all non-emergency personnel from Syria's neighboring country of Lebanon and has suggested a voluntary evacuation from Turkey in a move that military analysts believe may prelude an attack on Syria and an American attempt to mitigate collateral damage of U.S. personnel during strikes and the possibility of retaliation from an attack. In related news, Russia's plan to send a delegation to Washington to try and convince lawmakers not to vote for military action within Syria has been canceled, while Russia continues to increase its naval presence within the Mediterranean in what threatens to become a multinational conflict. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration announced on Friday that it has found detectable levels of arsenic in all samples of rice that currently reside in the human food supply chain. Testing more than 1,300 types of rice and rice products, researchers found that arsenic levels range from 3 to 7 micrograms per serving, amounts that the agency goes out of its way to emphasize are not hazardous to human health when considered for short-term exposure. Taking a moment to note that arsenic is a carcinogen which can cause a number of long-term health effects, we want to point out that it is also naturally occurring throughout the world. However, while taking ample time to detail the inconclusive short-term effects of the levels of arsenic found in consumer products like baby food, the FDA does little to discuss the long-term effects of the levels that they have discovered and whether those levels were heightened due to a gross negligence by governing bodies to limit arsenic among other dangerous metals and chemicals in widely used fertilizers that were undoubtedly added to these crops around the world. Saudi Arabia is reporting a number of new MERS cases as well as 2 new fatalities from the disease, and following a translation on an Arabic news website, we see that a Sudanese doctor has succumbed to a nosocomial or in-hospital infection from the MERS coronavirus. Nosocomial infections appear to be more prevalent with this virus than many in recent history, either because those infected have little to no natural immunity to the disease, or there is a great deal of gross negligence of infectious disease handling in the region. More than 40,000 people have been taken into shelter throughout 80 relief camps in India after monsoon rains renewed widespread flooding throughout the country. And to wrap things up, researchers have found a new underwater fault capable of generating a large tsunami off of the coast of New Zealand. A Chinese takeover of Smithfield Ham was given national security clearance on Friday, and a 6.6 striking near Mexico's border with Guatemala as well as a 6.0 in the Philippines completes today's Quake watch. And that's it for this episode of News in 2 Minutes. Check back tomorrow for more news that the aware need the most. This week's News in 2 Minutes is brought to you by GoBerkey.com. Remove fluoride, lead, giardia, and other viruses with a high-quality Berkey filter today. And SQMetals.com for all your precious metal needs.